Hey guys, this is Clark Kent. I wanted to kind of just reach out and kind of talk about the situation that's been going on. I know that everybody's probably, if you're on Twitter or if you're on social media of any sort, you've came across it, you've seen it, but also it bleeds down to the little guys, you know? Because my channel, the channel that we as the Holler Points has created over the last, I don't know, 6 to 8 months has been a blast. And if you look through the videos, 90% of it's Call of Duty. And that's why it hurts me to put that big circle with a line through it. Because I've played Call of Duty at least 15 years. And the Warzone since Blackout. So I have played Battle Royale with my friends. I've hung out with my guys on a nightly basis, on a weekly basis. So there's all kinds of things that I enjoy. But sometimes there's things that happen that we have to take a stand. And I know in this situation, it's weird when you start thinking about boycotting and you think about why would you boycott. It just seems so insignificant for like one person. And it is for one person. But we have to be able to, at some point, we have to find that line in the sand that we're willing to draw a line and say, you know what, it's time for me to stand up and quit just kind of hiding behind what we like to do. Like Bud Light a while back, or not a while back, just last month or whatever, fouled up. And I was for the boycotts. I was for it. I was saying pour it on them. But you know what? It's easy because I don't drink. I don't have a favorite beer. I don't have a favorite any of that. I don't have a dog in that fight. But all of a sudden it comes to my area. I would consider my home, the space that I love, and it gets infiltrated there. Am I supposed to just go along with it because I like it? I mean, to me, that would be hypocritical on my side. So to me, it's time when it comes to your area that you need to start making a stance. And if it hasn't made it to your area, it's going to in whatever it is that you do. I know, I don't know that I want Call of Duty to be like deleted, Warzone to be ended, because that would be cancel culture. And that's the thing that so many people are afraid to boycott because they're afraid of being deemed cancel culture. Cancel culture is because you know that you can't win. You demand by the government or somebody to say, you know what, come in and take this entity out because I can't beat them. But boycotts are just the opposite. They're saying this is a free market. If you don't make a product that we like, then you're out of business. That's plain and simple. So there's a big difference. And right now, if they're not making something that we like, or they're doing something that we don't appreciate, we have the ability with our dollar, with our time, with the lack of people traffic on their websites. We have that power to inflict change, but we don't have that power if we don't do it collective. And if you guys want to know what's got everybody in an uproar, and you've been living under a rock and you've not seen any of the tweets or anything going back and forth, I'll kind of rehash it and show you kind of what's been going on. We got Nick Merckx here. There was a tweet that was out, and he commented on it. And the video kind of was misleading when you first look at it. It looks almost as if, in the way it's wrote, it says the anti-LGBT protesters attack. So in that sentence, the other people aren't. The other side's not doing a single thing. It's these antis that's doing it, you know, and which could not be further from the truth, because when you actually read the article, which I'll go to in just a minute, but that you'll see what I'm talking about. But Nick Merckx just says they should leave children alone. That's the real issue. The issue that whenever the person that was posting this tweet was trying to say that how bad the anti-LGBT protesters were, without really giving context to what they were aggravated about. And let me pull that up. It does say 3 people were arrested, but when you watch the video, you see some people kicking and punching, and it makes it appear that there's a huge mob, a huge knockdown drag out. It was a fight, but it got apparently dispersed rather quickly, and it said that I think it messed up the meetings for about an hour or whatever in some of the articles I was reading. But anyways, that if you look at the bottom third paragraph there, it says early in the day, hundreds of protesters. And again, this is LA Times. This is not like this is a big conservative newspaper. Early in the day, hundreds of protesters had swarmed outside the building, some waving American flags and others waving pride flags. So they didn't just show up spontaneously. There wasn't these people that were doing a protest and then people just showed up on them. It happened to be both were there. They were protesting the board's policies, the LGBTQ plus policies chanted, "Leave our kids alone," while naming some of the 5 board members. So there was this protest going on. It's not like that they were these people in support of this here and then these anti-LGBTQ people showed up. And then not only do you have that, you have the KABC News reported same thing. They were talking about the same instance, but if you go down like I think it's the 4th line there, it says close to 500 people showed up. So again, we had 3 arrested, and then it said while most of the protests were peaceful, so whatever the majority, are we talking 251, whatever, a small group of individuals. So let's go to a small group. Let's say 50 of those people. Let's say 25 of those people. I mean, I'm just saying they're not giving numbers here, but small group of individuals engaged in behavior deemed unsafe and a risk to public safety, police said in a statement. But what Nick said was echoed down here when it says the protesters who have been gathering at the last couple of meetings say the state's curriculum and thus the Glendale Unified School District's policy in dealing with LGBTQ issues violate their rights as parents. The state's handed down curriculum, the school board's voting how to handle the policy, and the parents are doing the only thing that they know to do to fight back and show up and say, I want some transparency. I want to know what you're showing my kids. These are my children. I want to be able to understand what you're telling them or what you're showing them, because a school's job should be to teach kids. It's the parents' jobs to raise them up in the culture that they want to raise them. That's not the school system's job. And so the parents are upset about that. I don't have an issue with the parents being upset about that. So then Merck tweets this, or in the same time period or whatever. I'm just saying this is the thing that got his bundle pulled from the store. Getting his bundle pulled from the store is not going to break Nick Merckx. He was fine before that. He had popularity before that. He had money before that. But it's the principle of he didn't say anything anti. He didn't use a slur. He didn't do anything to bring that on. But he just said, leave little children alone. So I thought it was going to blow over. And then the next day I thought, well, he's going to do like most celebrities and he'll do an apology. And there's a little bit of rough language in this video. I think it's beeped out the best that it can be, but I wanted to leave it without cutting things because I wanted it to be in its entirety. So this is his video, and I have to applaud him. To me, he seemed like he explained himself rather well without getting himself in further one way or the other. But he also didn't seem to back down. So I'm wanting to show that.
I saw parents brawling in front of a fucking school with kids. I just didn't fucking like it. You know, I'm sure a lot of you guys can understand how that video would piss some people off. It pissed me off. I mean, full transparency. My wife and I just had a baby. Brand new father. You know, we seeing these kinds of videos. It's sad. You know, but her and I agree that we want to be the ones to talk to our kid about things like that. I just don't think it's any place for a teacher or a school.
Not at all.
I don't think it's the place to speak about things like that.
Not their place.
And it's not that I think that it shouldn't be spoken about. If that's what you got from that tweet, then you're just wrong. You're just wrong. I don't have any quarrel with anybody in here. I don't have any quarrel with people on the internet. It wasn't an anti, I guess, gay tweet. That wasn't what it was. Now, listen, if you have issues with me or if you have issues with that tweet, then hey, listen, I'm down to agree to disagree. That's fine. We can agree to disagree. But if you think that I hate you because you're a certain way, you just couldn't be any more wrong.
So you got him speaking as a father, as a gamer, as a man. And when you can hear those things, you can relate. And you're like, you know what? There's something to this. This isn't just something at a whim. He really feels this in his heart. And then you have his boy, Dr. Disrespect, comes in and says, you know what? I'm going to stand behind Nick, and I'm uninstalling the game. Now, there's no secret. Dr. Disrespect doesn't even like the game. He's talked about it forever. But for him to openly record himself, openly stream himself, uninstalling the game, to stand behind, that's one of the biggest statements. And he's said he's not going to play it until they either reinstate his bundle or they have publicly apologized. And I don't see them publicly apologizing, because you cannot apologize to the mob. The moment you apologize to the mob, you are eaten. They see weakness, and you lose respect to the people that would support you. So you can never, ever apologize to the mob. But not only that, Tim the Tat Man released a video, and it seemed like he was going to try to play both sides of the fence. And I even, in a tweet, and I was wrong. And again, it's not bad to admit you're wrong when you're wrong. But if it's just to settle the political correctness, the PC culture, the cancel culture, never apologize. But I was wrong. And the Tim the Tat Man, I basically said coward, I think in a tweet, because I felt like he was trying to play the middle ground and try to middle the road. And that's why you don't know the thoughts that's going in somebody's head. But he ended up putting out this tweet. And to me, it was one of the most heartfelt gestures that I could see myself making if it was one of my friends. And it basically said, if his operator's not good enough for you, we're friends, my operator's not good enough for you. So he wanted his pulled. Again, they obliged and took it off. And they've taken him down. But at the same time, we had three of the biggest creators for Warzone. Three of the biggest creators for shooters. Three of the biggest names. When you watch streaming of Call of Duty videos, their names will always be mentioned. Standing up. So now you got three pillars. That's all good. But there's a lot of room in between. And that's where like the nobodies like me and the nobodies that you might see yourself as, that you feel like your voice is so insignificant, that's where we come together and fill in those gaps. The question I have for you, how important, when is your line that you say, you know what, I got to fill in those gaps? When is your line when you say enough is enough, and I'm proudly going to stand and I'm going to lock arms? We may not agree on everything, but whether you're gay or straight, you should be able to agree that you should be able to save the children. There should never be a context that you can use the sentence "save the children" and it be bad. I don't care how they want to twist it, how they want to deem it. Whatever the situation is, save the children should be the one thing that should unify us all. Protecting the kids be one thing that should protect us all, or should unify us all. Protect the little children. Is that hard to comprehend? So whenever he says that, it's a rallying cry to me. Now, maybe I'm standing alone. Maybe everybody else will be fine with it. But I can say in my heart of hearts, I feel confident. I've seen enough people also having the same. It's actually emboldened me, because I feel like I'm not alone. And I know that there's other individuals out there. So I'm asking you, am I going to stand alone? Or is there any other gamers that's willing to say, you know what? Done with Call of Duty until they get to act straight. I'm not wishing for Call of Duty to end, but I'm wishing for this madness to end. I want them to understand that the people that they are catering to is not themselves. It's not the stockholders. It's not the ESG rating. It's the consumer. At the end of the day, the consumer controls all. And until they feel that pain, until they see that power that we have, until they see that we are unified, they're going to keep doing the same stuff. They're going to keep forcing the same stuff. Now, I know that I wanted to keep politics out of this channel. I wanted to keep everything clean. But sometimes when it comes to your house, you got to stand whether you're going to sit and take it or you're going to stand and fight. I'm choosing to stand and fight. I hope the rest of you guys do too.